So, something you might not know, I'm a big cryptocurrency aficionado. Been a holder for over 7 years now. I actually wrote a few papers about cryptocurrency for some clients back in the day. But I think everyone in the space knows about the bybit hack by now. A tragic event for the industry. But I'm very happy with the way bybit has gone about handling this massive crisis. Anyway, a recap, which I know everyone already knows, is that I think a day ago, some threat actors managed to steal $1.4 billion in ETH from the exchange, from the bybit exchange. And well, as I've gone through this, as I was going through this, I realized that it is important to maybe talk about it because it reminded me of the Mt. Gox hack of February 2014. February seems to be a bad day for us in the crypto space, but anyway. So I was struck by the contrast in the approach to the management of this crisis by the companies. This between Mt. Gox and this bybit guys. So this is the biggest cryptocurrency hack in terms of the dollar value of the Bitcoin, because they made away with $1.4 billion in Bitcoin. Previous hacks, I think the largest hack before this was the Mt. Gox hack. But actually in Bitcoin terms, because back in Mt. Gox era, Bitcoin was around $1,200. Well, they lost around 850,000 Bitcoin. You translate its value today is around $81 billion. So in effect, Mt. Gox is actually a bigger hack in terms of the value. But then you have to think about the value of Bitcoin back in the day was $1,000. Right now it's $95,000. So there is that. But I did the math and realized that if this hack in Bitcoin value was around 14,800 Bitcoin, and so that's significantly less than the 850,000 Bitcoin that were swindled from Mt. Gox. But doesn't matter. We have to think about current values. But again, that's not the most important part of this story. So when I look at bybit and Mt. Gox, I see a world of difference in how these two companies approach this thing. The whole topic of the bybit hack made me go back in time, because I actually there's this Reddit thread about this guy who flies all the way from Australia to Tokyo in Japan to check the status of their cryptocurrency. Because what happened with Mt. Gox is that they started out in 2010 and they had numerous vulnerabilities in the system. They had a few hacks before the big hack of February 2014. So what had happened is that a few months before the hack, customers would experience numerous problems with their withdrawals, whether they were trying to withdraw fiat or whether they were trying to withdraw cryptocurrency. And these delays would people would be on the queue for months. So this happened around November 2013. They suspended dollar withdrawals entirely for some time. Then in February, when there was a massive queue of people trying to withdraw their coins that they are not getting through, after these repeated efforts of trying to withdraw cryptocurrencies, one user, now the user in this Reddit thread, which I will share here because it's actually very informative, he hopped on a plane, 16-hour plane trip from wherever in Australia to Tokyo, Mt. Gox offices. He goes there. This is a crisis already, has been going on for months. I need you to notice this. Mt. Gox was not telling their customers that there was a hack or there was an issue. They was just saying there are technical internal issues that make it hard for withdrawals, so they are trying to process those on the queue. But this user sensed that something was wrong and took his flight to Tokyo. When he got there, he got to the Mt. Gox offices, hung around for hours. He's not getting the answers. He's being told to fill a support ticket, and he tells these guys, "No, I did not fly all the way to Australia to come to Tokyo, Japan, to just file a ticket that I could have filed from the comfort of my sitting room, and which I've been filing anyway. So you won't answer a support ticket, just because I'm filling it from here." So he hangs around for a while, and eventually the CEO of Mt. Gox was a 28-year-old Frenchman, by that time known as Marc Capellis. So Marc Capellis shows up, heading out of the offices, and this guy takes an opportunity to confront him about this issue. Capellis is not talking, he's not saying a lot. He's saying there are things he cannot discuss. It's an internal issue with their wallets. There is no hack. And that, so this client asks, well, you seem backed up at this moment. Can you say that you have a bank run? A bank run in any financial kind of system is just you are getting a lot of withdrawal requests that you cannot fulfill because maybe your deposits are less than what people are trying to withdraw. So around that time there was a lot of panic because people are trying to get their coins out. And so eventually this guy camped at Mt. Gox in Japan for around 3 days. But when he left and he met other adopters of Bitcoin, remember this is early Bitcoin days. The white paper came out in 2009. And I think the Genesis block was mined around that time. And now it's 2014. Mt. Gox, by the way, was the biggest cryptocurrency exchange at the time. It was handling 80% of Bitcoin volumes around the world. So that's saying a lot. It was an exchange that really packed a lot of punch when it came to the direction that cryptocurrency would take. So eventually our guy, met a few adopters, some academics, and they talked about this, and essentially they knew that there was something going on. So what had been going on is that actually Mt. Gox had been getting swindled by hackers for years without noticing it. They had been hemorrhaging money for years without a clue. They just assumed as long as their deposits were bigger than their withdrawals, then the system was fine. Now that's one terrible way of running an organization. So eventually they realized, this company has been hacked and the owner is not telling us the truth. Now there is bank run. The bank run is actually because the money is not there. We're essentially withdrawing money that does not exist. So eventually it was discovered that the company had, over the years, over months and years, lost $850 thousand Bitcoin, which translated at that time to around $450 million. And that was essentially the death of Mt. Gox. I bring this story up because I've been very impressed by how bybit have responded to this. Now, the investigations later proved that Mark Capellis, the CEO, was a very incompetent CEO. First of all, he was not a hands-on-deck kind of guy. He was just someone that loved Bitcoin, knew how to code, and bought the website from an American guy who bought it to trade cards for the Mt. Gox game. Those those of you who know the game know what I'm talking about. So eventually, it was discovered that Capellis was not the best manager. First of all, the protocols that were used were very, for lack of a better word, very vulnerable. There are ways to run a system like this. There are ways to run checks. And for example, it was discovered that they did not have a control environment for programming, such that if a developer was writing some code or altering some code, they ran the risk of actually overwriting code, which could be better than they are writing. So overwriting code written by another developer without knowing, essentially making the system redundant. Another really scary thing about Mt. Gox was that initially, in those early days, once they fixed bugs or wrote new code, they would just upload the code live to the site. They had not built a testing environment. Now this is a very advanced level of mediocrity, whereby you don't run your software through testing environment to see whether it actually works or does the thing that you want it to do, but to upload it right away, such that if there is a vulnerability introduced, then it would be immediately exploited. So basically what I'm getting at is that Mark Capellis was a scattergun kind of CEO. He liked the idea of being a CEO, but he wasn't a good CEO. He liked fixing computers and servers more than he liked actually fixing the systems. And the thing is, when the developers did everything, he had the final say so, or even a simple bug fix would require the intervention of Mark Capellis. And this is where it starts to fall apart. Sometimes he would be gone for weeks and not able to fix these bugs in a system that churns out millions of dollars every day in transactions. That's dangerous and frankly careless. So that's the story of Mt. Gox, and yes, it was a hack, but it was all down to the incompetence of those in charge. Now, Mark Capellis would later serve a jail sentence for actually inflating numbers to show that there were bitcoins that were not actually there, but that's a story for another day. Now, that's how Mt. Gox was handled in 2014. Now, the sharp contrast, which is the reason I'm making this video, the sharp contrast between Mt. Gox approach to PR at that time and bybit's approach is actually really telling. Last night I went on a space, and I share bits of that space here. I went on a space whereby the CEO of bybit was talking about how they reacted. So as soon as bybit realized that there was a breach, they immediately went on crisis control mode. They did a live stream immediately. They wanted to talk to their clients, who are the most important part of this process, to assure them. Website did not go live, off. Withdrawals were not suspended. They kept the system live, whoever wanted to, because you must expect it. In these situations, people will want to salvage their money. So the moment they heard this was happening, people wanted to get their money, and the company did not stand in the way of people doing that. So they went about trying to secure actually the remaining cryptocurrency, the remaining wallets. They tried to clean the contaminated wallet. They did a live stream. They assured people that all was well, that even if this money was not recovered, that Bybit actually has the resources to compensate everyone for their losses, which is frankly, if you have money on an exchange, is frankly a big relief. So eventually you have them even going to the point where we are going to run low on deposits. We are essentially having a bank run here. What do we do not to shut down the website? We need to keep, we need to borrow some Ethereum. We need to borrow more in order to facilitate these transactions. We have wallets we cannot access now. We need to find ways to access these wallets in order so that whoever feels they need to keep trading and withdrawing, they can keep doing this, essentially keeping our operations working. That is really good work. And all the while they are tweeting and communicating to over the 60 million customers who use this company. By the way, Bybit is the second biggest exchange in the world, I think, after Binance. So that's saying something. So all this crisis is more trying to assure people website has not crashed, and there's a lot of communication. They do a space within 24 hours of this and all that. So this video is just to say cryptocurrency has come a long way, and it is so impressive to see crisis being handled the way crisis should be handled, that customers must not lose, that we must remain sane, we must be communicative, tell them the truth about what happened. And the result is that Bybit still has a lot of the confidence of everyone in the crypto space. And this is how a cryptocurrency emergency should be handled in modern times. The way Bybit has done it is a blueprint for how to handle these things, rather than keeping people in the dark, leading to a panic and a bank run, and then the website shuts off, and then lights out. You are declared, you lose the company. So yeah, I'm going to share a few things in this video. I'm going to attach a bit of the space that the CEO of Bybit was hosted on Twitter. It was hosted, not hosted Twitter. It was hosted on Crypto Town Hall. So, and I'll also share a screen grab of that 2014 Reddit post, Reddit thread with this guy going all the way to Japan from Australia. So thank you so much. I really wanted to speak about this as someone that is has been in the space for a long time. So thank you.